Welcome everybody. Let's do an update, breaking news update on what's going on with Parler. And the update is that the Parler CEO John Matze has been fired. And in this breaking news update, we have some infighting, it seems, or a difference of opinion between the board and the investors and Matze. Now, Matze sent out a memo that has been obtained by Fox News. And I'm going to read you that memo. And in that memo, he says he was fired by Rebecca Mercer. And a lot of his grievance is due to the fact that, according to Matze, he wanted to move forward with a free speech vision for the company, and he's inferring that the board and the investors did not. Now, Dan Bongino, who's one of the investors, a very high-profile investor, of course, he has now responded with a video message where he says that Matze is lying, and it is actually the investors and the board that are committed to the free speech vision for the company, and that they could have been back online within a few days if they bent the knee to Apple and Google and big tech and just started to not be free speech. But Bongino says that the board and the investors would have none of that, and he infers that Matze did want that. So the dispute is basically whose vision was it to be a free speech platform, and who showed the commitment to remain a free speech platform even though they were completely deplatformed, if that makes any sense. So there's basically the argument is who is committed towards keeping the vision of the company, who came up with the vision of the company, and who's committed to keeping it. Because from what I'm gathering from reading both sides of this story, if they had decided to bend the knee to big tech, then they would have been up and running fairly quickly, but they decided to stay committed to their vision. Whose vision was it? Well, Matze says it was his vision, and that's why he was fired, because he stuck to that vision and they didn't get up quickly enough, back online quickly enough. Bongino says, no, our vision is the free speech vision, and that's why we're not back up. And Matze was the one that wanted to bend the knee to big tech. So anyway, I am going to read you what Matze said, and then I'm going to play you Bongino's response. Rebecca Mercer, just an FYI, Rebecca Mercer is one of the big investors. Uber rich, billionaire, daughter, heiress to Robert Mercer, who was a hedge fund multi-billionaire. And she has invested in news outlets like Breitbart, the Mercer family. I think they've also invested in the Trump campaign as well, I believe. I'm not so sure there. I'll research it out just to satisfy my curiosity. But they invest in conservative causes and conservative media outlets. And they were, from what I imagine, one of the bigger, if not the biggest investor in Parler. And Matze is saying that it was indeed Mercer that fired him. So let me read you what he says, and then you guys can listen to what Bongino said in response. Look, just one more thing. In cases like this, when people get fired, especially a CEO, and the board fires a CEO, well, it always gets messy. So this doesn't surprise me. But given that Parler is such a high-profile story at the moment, it's interesting news to hear both sides of the case. And you guys can make your judgments. Let me know in the comments down below, who do you think is in the right? Who do you think is in the wrong? Is it 50-50? And let me know what you guys think after you finish watching this video. Here's what Matze said. I'm reading this to you guys from Reclaim the Net, but this was originally obtained by Fox News. So this is what the memo has to say. So in the memo, which was obtained by Fox News, Matze wrote that the Parler board, controlled by Rebecca Mercer, had fired him on January 29, and that he did not participate in this decision. I understand that those who now control the company have made some communications to employees and other third parties that have unfortunately created confusion and prompted me to make this public statement. That is a direct quote from Matze. Matze stated that over 5 months, he's met constant resistance over his vision for Parler and his belief in free speech. This is where the dispute comes in, guys. Quote, over the past few months, I've met constant resistance to my product vision. my strong belief in free speech, and my view of how the Parler site should be managed. For example, I advocated for more product stability and what I believe is a more effective approach to content moderation. I have worked endless hours and fought constant battles to get the Parler site running, but at this point, the future of Parler is no longer in my hands. Matze also discussed his plans to take a few weeks off before looking for new opportunities where my technical acumen, vision, and the causes I am passionate about will be required and respected. He also added, quote, I want to thank all the people of Parler that supported me and the platform. This has been the true American dream, an idea from a living room to a company of considerable value. I'm not saying goodbye, just so long for now. So that is what Matze said in this memo that was obtained by Fox News. Now let's get to Dan Bongino's reply. And I'm going to play it, guys. You guys can listen to what Bongino has to say. It's about a 6-minute video, but I'll play 4 or 5 minutes of it. The end of it starts to get a little off the main message from Dan Bongino. So here's the video from Dan Bongino. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar, Bitcoin, please help me out. This channel has been completely demonetized by YouTube. I don't even know why they demonetized. I don't have any way to appeal it or anyone to appeal to. My content is very not controversial at all, to be honest. I rarely say bad words. I'm pretty level in my delivery, but I guess I'm one of the conservative voices that they want to shut down. So you can find me on Rumble, you can find me on BitChute, you can find me on Odyssey. Odyssey's really cool, guys. You should give it a go. You'll find the links down below. Here is Dan Bongino.
So it's time to correct the record. The Parler CEO John Matze was terminated by the board of Parler, but the story you're hearing, unfortunately, is not correct. Here's the real story, so you have it, and don't believe the hype, so this fake news doesn't fester, and you don't. I'm already getting emails from listeners, understandably so, asking me questions about why was the Parler CEO let go. I read a story at foxnews.com where he claims he was a real advocate for free speech, and he was a real advocate for product stability, and he was let go. And folks, that's not accurate. Those are his statements, not mine. I have no personal gripe against John, the CEO, at all. I want to be crystal clear, but John decided to make this public, not us. We were handling it like gentlemen, and John decided somehow to make this public or put out this memo that was made public via press report. So here's what really happened. We were the ones, in fact, fighting to get Parler back up. It was some really bad decisions made by people on the inside. And listen, this isn't us airing dirty laundry. This is protecting a company that is absolutely committed to free speech that I put the last year of my life into. Do you actually believe that someone else was on the side of free speech and me from the eponymously named Dan Bongino show would get involved with a company that was fighting against free speech? You'd have to be an imbecile to believe that. There were two separate visions for the company. And I don't know what John's saying in his reports out there, but this free speech vision, that was ours. The other owners of the company. Let me be crystal clear on this. He makes 2 points. That, I was a big advocate for free speech. That was my vision. And I was a big advocate for product stability. That is not true. Everybody digging my chili when I'm laying down? That is not true. That is false. If he wants to get into a battle over here of narratives, he's going to lose because there's this thing getting in the way of that story he keeps telling, and it's called the truth. I'm really pissed off right now because that's absolutely not what happened. The relationship with Parler and the CEO did not work out because the CEO's vision was not ours. Are everybody clear on that? Our vision was crystal clear. We needed to get up and fight back. Some terrible decisions were made in the past that led to this, that led us to getting put down by Amazon and others. It was us, me, and the three other, and the two other owners, and the two other owners that were constantly on the side of this site was going to be a free speech platform or it was going to be nothing. We have to be crystal clear on this. again, I love my show. I love my audience. I love everyone who watches what I do. You guys are great, ladies out there. I read your emails, and I'm a little bothered because, one, I didn't see this coming. We were handling this like gentlemen before it decided to become a public issue. But now that it is a public issue, make absolutely no mistake. I'm going to say this for the 10th time. The vision of the company as a free speech platform was mine and the two other owners. And we were resolutely committed to that. Folks, we could have been up after Apple, Amazon, and Google wiped this out. We could have been up in a week if we just would have bent the knee and followed all the ridiculous Apple edicts to become a heavy moderation site to the left of Twitter. That's not what we're going to do. We don't want garbage on our site either, and we took the proper steps to do that. But we were a free speech site, and will remain as such. And that's why it's taken so long to get back up. And John's statements out there that he made in this leaked memo that made it into the news, those statements are false. Again, I cannot tell you that enough, and I'm not going to let this narrative fester. It is me and my co-owners that are resolutely committed to a free speech site. He is not telling the truth there. And the product stability, and he was committed to product stability. Wait till the real story comes out there one day about product stability and our warnings, me, and the two other owners, warnings to him about product stability. Is he really sure he wants to get into this? Again, I have no personal beef with the man at all. But this is an outrageous attack on people who have done nothing but work day and night to get this site back up and to fight back against these cancel culture goons, and to get kneecapped like this by someone we trusted is a disgrace. He is no white knight in this story. There are people who fought hard to get this back up and are fighting right now and are working nonstop. And that story you're hearing is not true. That is a version of events.
All right, guys, I had to come back because I listened to this a third time now from Bongino. And I just want to say a couple of really quick things. Bongino is right on the security and the stability part of things. It was the CEO's responsibility to make sure that Parler was stable, that it had a backup plan, that it had a contingency plan, because he should have known that big tech was going to come after him. And hosting with Amazon, I mean, everything else, okay. You know, the bad press and all that stuff, you roll with it. But at your most basic level, he should have been ready with hosting. He should have had a backup for the hosting. He should have had a web progressive app for the mobile side of things as well. So, you know, I imagine he's taken a lot of VC money, probably somewhere in the millions, if not 10 million plus, I don't know. But I imagine they've taken a lot of money in. He should have at least gotten a web progressive app in place as a contingency against getting booted from the app stores. And he should have had either a different hosting model or a backup hosting model outside of Amazon Web Service. So Dan Bongino is right there. As CEO, you know, that mistake is his. He has to own it. And that's a huge mistake. So, you know, if it was me, I would say that is a mistake where, you know, you're justifiably terminated. Just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's a big mistake. Very big. But more importantly, I just want to say very quickly that Bongino is right as well in the beginning of the video, where he talks about the fact that the termination, the agreement to part ways, was done in a very gentlemanly-like manner. And it seems to me that the investors and the board did not want to air the dirty laundry out in the public. And that is the right approach. And that is the adult way to handle it. But Matze decided to go public with it. And in my experience, this is just my experience, whether it's business partners, whether it's an employer and an employee, whenever there's a disagreement, a termination, a parting of way between partners, directors, employer, employee, and anything along those lines, it is 95% that the person that first goes public with it or tries to play the victim card or makes a statement and says, woe is me, I can't believe what they did to me, I believed in this, I believed in that, and they wronged me, but you know, I'm going to move on. Whenever they make a statement like that, they're usually the person that's lying, and they're usually the person at fault. It could be a different scenario here. I don't know, but after listening to Bongino a third time, my opinion on this is that he's correct. I mean, I read what Matze said, and I'm listening to Bongino, and going through my own experience in life, having started various businesses and being a part of various ventures. Whenever you have a parting of ways, you want to keep it quiet. You want people to just move on, and that's that. And just just be men about it. You make the agreement. You decide to go in different directions. So be it. The person that usually comes out in the public and airs their dirty laundry like that is usually the person that's not being honest. It's usually the person that's trying to cover their butt. That's my take on it. So anytime you see situations where there's a parting of ways and someone goes immediately to the public, maybe makes a post on social media and tries to play the victim card, they're usually the person that's BSing. And Bongino's right. It's a low move to make. When you decide to keep things quiet and part ways, keep it quiet. It's business. That is business, guys. But sometimes you succeed together, sometimes you fail together, sometimes you go your different ways, and good luck to everybody involved in the venture. But the minute you go public with it, with a memo or with posting something on Facebook, and you try to play the victim card, then that is a telltale sign that you are lying. So anyway, guys, that's the video. Once again, look for me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. Help out this channel. Oh, the Duran shop. Look for Alexander Mercur's channel as well. Pick up a magic mug, and take care, everybody. The links are all down below.